So on 13, you're supposed to graph each of the following of these. Remember that this plus 5 is the y-intercept, and this 3 is the slope. So it's not going to fit on my graph, so let's hurry and move this. So anyways, the 5 means I start at 5, so I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the slope says I go up 3 over 1. Same idea, I could go actually down 3 left 1, because that's -3, -1, which a negative divided by negative makes a positive. So anyways, you could do that as well. You have your line dots, connect them, try to connect them. That's not very good looking, but anyways, there you go. That's what you have to do on 13 part A. Part B, same idea, y equals -1 half x. There's nothing here, so that means the y-intercept is at the origin, 0. Then I'm going to go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, connect the dots, and there it is. Part C, 2/3 x minus 1 means I start at -1. I go up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, connect the dots, and that's part C. Part D just says x equals 3. Well, x equals 3 right here, and everywhere along this line. So when it's a vertical line, we say it has undefined slope. An undefined slope is just x equals a number, so a constant. Part D, y equals -2, y equals -2 right here, and everywhere along this line. So that's y equals -2, and it has a slope of 0. Okay, on number 14 it says you're supposed to create the equation of line with the given information. So on 14 part A, you have the m and the b. All that you have to do with those is plug those in. So it's y equals 3/5 x minus 4. And that's it for part A. Part B, you have 2 points, so you need to find the slope. So it's y minus y, so I'm going to go -2 minus 0 over x minus x. So 5 minus 4, that makes -2 over 1, or just -2. So that is my slope. So I'm going to use either of these 2 points, x or y, and I'm going to use one of 2 equations. I'm going to use y equals mx plus b, or y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So the m is -2 on both of these equations. If I use the point slope equation over here on the right, that's my x1 and y1. So I have y minus 0 equals -2 x minus 4. So y minus 0, that just goes away, equals -2x plus 8. If I plug in the y over here, that's 0. The x is 4 plus b. So -2 times 4 is -8. To get rid of the -8, I add 8 to each side. So 8 equals b. So y equals -2x plus 8. So either way, you get the same equation, same answer at the end. On part C, you already have the slope, so you don't have to do this work of calculating it. You just plug it into either the y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form, or point-slope form. So y equals mx plus b, or y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. M again is 3, so I replace that m with 3. We're going to replace this point with 2 and that point with -7. So that's x and that's y. If it's the point slope, that's x1, y1. So y is -7, m is 3, x is 2 plus b. 3 times 2 is 6. Minus 6 from each side. So I get negative 13 equals b. So y equals 3x minus 13. If I use the other equation, y minus y1, y minus a minus 7. So that turns into a plus. X minus 2. So y plus 7 equals 3x minus 6. So then I minus the 7 from each side. And y equals 3x minus 13. So on 15, it says to state if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So I look at 15a, the slope is 3/4, 3/4. On part B, I look at it, it says it's a negative 3/4. So they're both 3/4, but one's positive, one's negative. So that doesn't help me. I don't care about the y-intercept. That doesn't do anything for me either. But in order to be parallel, those two little lines, the slopes have to both be exactly the same. So either 3/4 and 3/4, or negative 3/4 and negative 3/4. And since that's not the case, these are neither. Because perpendicular, I would have one be positive and one be negative, but it has to be the negative reciprocal. So I don't have that to be perpendicular. So now looking at part B, I have a positive 3/4 and a negative 4/3. So that is perpendicular. So on 16 it says create an equation of line that's parallel to this given line and create another one that's perpendicular to this given line that go through this given point. So the first thing I want to do is if it's parallel to my first line, I ought to figure out what the slope is. So to get slope, I need it to be in y equals mx plus b. So I divide everything by 3. And all that I'm worried about is the number, the coefficient that's with the x. So 1 divided by 3 is my slope. And so now I'm back to what I've been doing on those previous problems before. Y equals mx plus b, or y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And so I will do that on both of those problems. One for the parallel, one for perpendicular. But on the perpendicular, the slope will be negative 3 over 1. So let's do the parallel one. M is 1/3, regardless of which equation I use. That's the x, that's the y. Now I'm going to plug it in my point. Minus a minus 8. My computer is not working too well today. Minus 15. Y is negative 8. The x is 15 plus b. So 1/3 of 15 is 5. We still have the plus b equals, so I'm going to minus the 5 over. So that makes negative 13 equals b. So y equals 1/3 x minus 13. If I do this one, that makes a plus 8. So y plus 8 equals 1/3 x minus 5. So then I minus the 8 from it. And y equals 1/3 x minus 13. So that's the equation of the line that's parallel. If I do perpendicular, it's the same exact thing. I plug in all the same numbers except for the slope will be -3. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug those in. So y is -8. So I'm using y equals mx plus b. -3x plus b. If I use the other one, I'm going to have y minus y1, which we saw over here is y plus 8, equals -3x minus 15. Whoops, hold on. This isn't supposed to be 15 here. That's supposed to be b. So that's b. -3 times 15 is -45. So I add that 45 to the other side. So 45 minus 8 is 37. And that is the b. So y equals -3x plus 37. If I do this one, I distribute the -3. So that makes -3x plus 45. Then I'm going to minus the 8 away from the left side. So y equals -3x. 45 minus 8 is 37. And the last problem says, given a line y equals 5, what's the line that's parallel through that point? Well, if it's parallel and it's y equals, it's going to be a y equals. And it's just the y coordinate, -13. If it's perpendicular, remember you have your xy axis. Well, if it's y equals 5 is my equation of my line. Perpendicular is just an x equals. So perpendicular is x equals 11 because it has to go through that point. And so that's all you have to do on that problem.